Our first guests star as a couple of guys named Clark and Lex in one of this summer's biggest movies, James Gunn's Superman.
Well, yeah, that's gonna be...
Lex, I tried to stop him.
It's fine, Heather. Superman, we finally meet. Would you like a coffee?
Where's the dog?
Dog?
The dog, loser! You took the dog!
That's right, you get all of this.
Where's the dog?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
He's just a dog.
I don't know what dog you're talking about. Ugly dog in a cape.
What did you say?
Superman opens in theaters July 11th. Please welcome David Corenswet and Nicholas Hoult.
Thank you. How's it going?
It's good to have you here.
It's wonderful to be here.
It's wonderful. This audience makes it wonderful and unforgettable, I have to say. The other thing is going to be unforgettable is that you can take as many flowers as you want at the end of this interview.
We're gonna need a
Okay,
bigger
just
boat.
stop with Guillermo and grab anything you like.
Lovely.
So nice to have you both here.
It's great to be here. You're doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
That's nice to hear. And we're all child actors, right?
Yeah.
You started acting at?
I did my first play when I was 3.
Holy no.
Yeah, so little, yeah.
You beat us, basically. You were...
I was an old man at 9.
Oh, yeah. Wise old man, yeah. I
And
was
you were-
seven, yeah. And we're okay, no? I wake up at nights sometimes freaking out. I still, pee my pants for no reason. But,
Let's get it all out. This is a good time for us to talk session.
David, this is your first talk show?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. I brought my emotional support actor, Nick.
Well done. I mean, I'm glad you choose one where the host is not a host.
Honestly, it helps a lot.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we up, it's my fault, definitely, not yours.
We're all in this boat together.
Yeah, the two of you will be spending a lot of time promoting this film. I saw the film, and you have many scenes. This is not a spoiler. You have many scenes together, but you're not in the same place, right? You talk to each other a lot without having each other on set. How was that?
Perfect. I love not being around David whenever possible. No, it's interesting. It was like you're like a wonderful actor to be in scenes with David because he understands, he's very giving, first of all, as an actor, and he really digs into the script and figuring out what's going to be best for Superman, that character, and all the other characters around. So it's fun to be in scenes with David. But even when you're not in the close space of it, you're still breaking the scene apart and being very helpful. So it's still like a great scene partner, even though you're not physically there in person, if that makes sense.
I'm excited about it because it means that there's a lot of Nick's work that I haven't seen. So when I finally see the movie, I haven't seen the movie yet. I'm waiting for the premiere to see it.
What?
I want the big premiere experience. Everyone tells me it's very good, so I don't feel the need to
I've seen it.
You've seen it.
I've seen it.
And you've seen it.
I've seen it.
So, so don't spoil anything. I don't want to know how.
You haven't seen the film.
I just figured this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get to see a movie like this for the first time with a couple thousand people in a big theater just before it releases. I didn't want to spoil that by seeing bits of it beforehand. I held my ears while they played the clip back there.
He did.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He was fully...
I want the full experience. I want the full experience on the IMAX screen.
You're committed with your ideas.
Yeah.
I love it.
But it means that there's all of Nick's work that I didn't get to see on set that I'll experience for the first time as an audience member, which I'm excited for.
Thanks.
And Nicholas, what do you think about his work in the film?
Yeah, tell me.
Let's talk about that.
You know what? This is the wonderful thing, because I have seen it. I couldn't wait. I was too excited. And because I just love the script that James wrote. It's such a fresh new take on this character. And seeing what David did on set, and then seeing it on screen, he's such... Close your ears again. He's such a wonderful Superman. He's so charismatic. And
I agree.
And emotional, and he gives it such dynamism, and it's a wonderful interpretation of the character. So I'm very proud to be able to be in the movie with him as Superman, because you know it's a new Superman for a new generation, and he's done a wonderful job as that character.
Wonderful job.
He did.
Yeah. You mentioned your director, James Gunn.
Yeah.
Amazing. How was that experience?
He's such a wonderful... I mean, first of all, he wrote the screenplay as well, you know, a completely new take on this character and this world, and that's what it felt like reading it for the first time for me. I was, like, blown away by the scale and how you're thrust into this story in a completely fresh way. Did you like it?
On set, he's like, I expected a big film like this to be sort of a machine that you feel like you're being stuck into, and a lot of green screens and tennis balls, but James is like a kid making short films. He's got his crew and his department heads who he's worked with before, who he knows, and so it's
very collaborative. Like the best
and,
idea wins, and everyone's supportive. So
it's all about having fun. He wants things built practically, not just so that it comes through in the film, but so that the actors and the crew can have fun being on the actual Fortress of Solitude.
Oh, a dream come true.
Yeah.
Cool. I heard he's very, very smart because he cast you. I mean, he made the casting of Superman, and you were both invited too, right? You both casted for the same role.
This is very awkward. Yes. I auditioned for Superman.
You auditioned for Superman?
I auditioned for Superman, and I remember...
Before or...
At the same time.
Same time. Same day?
Yeah. Same
did you
day.
cross? I mean, did you saw each other?
So this was one of the moments I walked out of doing one of my audition scenes, and I walked out, and I was like, yeah, not bad, okay. And I walked around the corner, and there was like lots of shadows on the studio lot, and then one ray of sunshine. And David had taken a seat into this ray of sunshine and was sitting there, like charging up from the sun, like Superman does, getting his power. And I walked over to say hello, and he stood up, and I was like, God damn, he's about an inch taller than me.
Which I'm not.
Look at his hair, look at his jawline. And then he started speaking. I shook his hand, and I was like, his hands are a bit bigger than me. And then he spoke, and I was like, oh, his voice is a little bit deeper too. He sounds actually... And in that moment, whilst we were shaking hands, I was like, I'd be happy if this guy was Superman. I was like, you're perfect for it, really, genuinely, and like, it's great. But also, what the
How was that day for you?
It was amazing. I mean, it was an amazing experience testing for it, but I remember meeting Nick. I've admired Nick as an actor for a long time, and to get to meet him in this context, both dressed as Clark Kent, in this kind of like, hello, you doing okay? Yeah, you doing all right? Yeah, it's a bit weird, this, you know, hanging from wires and reading this scene, and it was wonderful. And then the day that I found out that he had agreed to play Lex Luthor, I thought, this may be the best thing that happens to this film, because a superhero is only as interesting as their villain, and I knew Nick was going to bring something really serious.
Yeah.
I also think it's very smart, you know, that he calls you and says, like, you're not getting the role. Let me tell you who got it.
He said it just like that as well.
Let me tell you who got it.
And
then, do you want to play Lex Luthor and bring that hate to set that you're feeling?
I haven't stopped hating ever since. It's perfect. It's great fuel for the fire. No, it was funny when he called me about playing Lex. I kind of let out a little evil cackle. Because I remembered the first time reading the script, and I read some of the Lex scenes, and I was like, oh, maybe you'd be better as Lex than Superman. But then, obviously, you kind of bury that intuition and thought, because I was like, well, that's going to be distracting if I say that to anyone. So when he called and said that, I was like, oh, OK, this is going to work out well, because this is kind of what you knew all along was probably the better fit for you. So, that's it.
And you shaved your head.
I did. Yeah, shaved my head. Which
for the second time.
Second time. I shaved my head once for Mad Max, yeah. But this time I let my older son do it. I gave him the clippers and just said, go on.
That's a big responsibility.
Well, it's hard to screw up.
Yeah.
You're right.
He tried. he tried. No, it was fun for him, man. It was like a little, DIY project at home.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And has your life changed dramatically since the trailers started to hit the theaters? And
well, I'm having this strange dream that I'm sitting here in a room with a bunch of people being interviewed by Diego Luna. That wasn't in my whatever astrology reading a couple years ago. Nothing big has changed yet, except I've made all these great friends making the film, and so we'll get to share it with you all pretty soon. So we'll see what happens then.
The production and I, we want to give you something, to hide in case your fame just becomes impossible, you know? You can wear these ones. And,
This is brilliant. Somebody should have thought of this.
there you go. More with Nicholas and whoever this guy is after the break. Welcome back. We're here with David Corenswet and Nicholas Hoult. Yes, we're still here. ABC News correspondent Will Reeve, son of Christopher Reeve, has a cameo, no? On the film.
Yeah.
He's there. He interviewed me once, and he's a wonderful man and very smart. And can you talk a little bit about having him on set, what that meant, and what did you guys take out of that one?
Well, obviously, it means something, him being Christopher Reeve's son.
Yeah.
But honestly, more than that, he's such a great man in his own right. He's tall and handsome and gentle
Yes.
and warm. And yeah, the day that he visited set, we were shooting a big scene between the two of us. And I just remember him standing up. And, you know, as a couple of tall guys, you don't often have somebody stand up and feel like you're, you know, looking up with them. And he held out his hand and smiled warmly and just said some encouraging words. It was amazing having him there that day.
Something
that's
really
nice.
special as well, we got to see the Christopher Reeve documentary before we started filming.
Oh.
So that emotionally made us all feel very connected to him, obviously. And then I remember this very clearly because at the end of that film, it's obviously heartbreaking throughout. And I remember very clearly we were sat next to each other and you leaned over to me and you tapped me on the arm and you said, I can't wait to meet your son. And I remember, like, in that moment, my heart, like, just being like, that's like what a wonderful man David is in terms of all the goodness that Clark and Superman represents. David has all that in spades as a person.
And what Superman means to people, and that in the documentary, Christopher Reeve, the idea of legacy and you know how Christopher Reeve's legacy has sustained for so many decades, and how his Superman is still sort of the definitive Superman in so many people's minds. It just made me feel like, you know, we have all this pressure leading up to shooting this big film, and instead we just get to think about each other and that we're people and that we're spending a couple of months of our lives here together and that we have kids and families. That's really sort of the spirit of the whole film in the end.
Ah, that's a nice way to see it. Yeah.
Very special.
Well, I love also that the Daily Planet plays such a big role, no, in the film. It's like the time when media matter, and in fact, you know, Lex Luthor is freaking out for what the media is gonna say, you know, what a newspaper can say or can bring. I don't know how kids are gonna look at that. It's like the, you know,
I think
like
it's really
these
well
days where
represented in the movie because, you know, Lex is manipulating, he's a puppeteer and he is controlling what's being released and what people are being aware of and think is real and truthful. And, you know, Lois, Rachel Brosnahan, who's incredible in the movie, she represents that journalist who is, you know, ruthless in finding the truth and bringing that to light. And I think that's something that nowadays everyone, you know, is in need of more than ever, probably. Yeah.
I agree. Working with a dog, what was that like? I mean,
Don't
and the
talk
dog
about me like that,
is How was it? How was it? I mean, obviously, you have the most kind of like interaction with that dog. Was that a dog? Was that like what was it?
Well, it was a little bit of everything. We, unfortunately for me, Krypto does a lot of things that a real dog couldn't do. So a lot of it was built in the computers afterwards. But we did have a great reference dog who sort of got trotted in after every take, just to see how the light played on her fur. Her name was Jolene. Jolene. So she had her walkout song was Jolene by Dolly Parton. And James loves dogs, and so there were a lot of cast and crew who brought their dogs. I was able to bring my dog, my mom's dog, who I've stolen. And he got his own chair and you know, started giving notes, which James didn't take too kindly to. But it was all, it's the same spirit that James has of like, the set should be a place that feels like home.
Yeah. Did you take anything from that set?
I took my dog home.
Your dog, but someone else's, probably? No?
A couple of the dogs did get adopted. Some of the dogs, there's a clip that has just come out of me blowing over a dog. I don't know whether you all have seen that, but you... Anyway, there were a couple dogs in the movie, and the backup dog, just in case that first dog didn't behave, was named Henry, and the guy who drove me around, Roger, ended up adopting him and taking him home.
Ah,
A
nice.
little bit of that, yeah. Did you take anything home?
Well done for. Did you adopt a
What I
dog
took
or?
wasn't so sweet. I took a little crystal from the Fortress of Solitude. I just grabbed it one day and like, I was like, this will be a good memento. Off I go.
But I heard in Nosferatu you did take a bigger souvenir. Right?
I don't know if it was bigger necessarily, but I did take Count Orlok's penis. His prosthetic penis. Yeah.
It's a prosthetic penis.
Yes, the Bill Skarsgård wore in the movie, yeah. Robert Eggers, the director, gifted it to me as a wrap gift, framed. So I have
What kind of a
that.
message does that sound?
That's, I mean,
It's a story for another time.
I don't know if for another time, but definitely once we're not on the air, you know? Thanks, guys. Superman opens in theaters July 11th. Don't forget to take the flowers, and we'll be right back with Ariela Bourrin.
Guillermo, do you know how many subscribers we have on YouTube now?
20 million.
That's right, yeah. That's why we're wearing these glasses. Thanks for being a subscriber. If you're not, help us get to 20,000,001.